Well, hello and welcome to What's Brewing in Education. My name is Scott Kuykendall and I'm the Stanislaus County Superintendent of Schools. SCOE operates several programs and events that support high school students to develop their leadership potential. Leadership Academy is an innovative program bringing high school juniors and seniors in Stanislaus County together once a month. During the day-long program, they discuss and explore leadership roles, go on field trips to local businesses, and get a better awareness of local career opportunities. We want the students to know that there are many career opportunities right here in Stanislaus County and to come back after college or a trade school to work here. Joining me today are Youth Program Coordinator Erikka Perry, who coordinates the Leadership Academy program, and Micaela Meyer, a graduate of Leadership Academy. Hello, Erikka Perry.
Hi.
Thank you for joining me today to talk about Leadership Academy. This particular program that we have at SCOE, I think is one of probably the most, creative and innovative, especially for our juniors and seniors in Stanislaus County, just because of the opportunity that it provides. And we're going to talk about that more. But first, before we get into it, tell me a little bit about how did the Leadership Academy, how was it created and kind of why is it important?
Yeah, so 19 years ago, our recently retired director, Vicki Bauman, participated in Leadership Modesto, which is a program operated out of the Modesto Chamber of Commerce for adult professionals in the community. And she thought to herself, wow, this would be such a powerful opportunity for students. If only I had had an opportunity to be exposed to these opportunities when I was a high school student. So she pitched the idea to then Superintendent of Schools, Martin Peterson, to create a program modeled after Leadership Modesto for students. And he gave her the support to do so. So as long as she could raise the funds in the community to support it, which she did with great success. So 19 years later, we continue to offer the program to students.
So wow, 19 years.
Yes.
That is great. Tell me a little bit about what could students expect to see or to do if they were a part of Leadership Academy?
Yeah, so as you kind of shared previously, students join us once a month for a class, and each one of those classes are designated around a certain career sector where we take them out into the community where they're actually able to visit those businesses and organizations that are working in that career sector. So they have the opportunity, very unique opportunity, to meet with those business and community leaders, to make connections with them, and to get a behind-the-scenes look at what those careers are really like. Students also get to participate in volunteer opportunities. They go on a ride-along with local law enforcement, and at the end of the program, they receive a scholarship.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about those different industry sectors because students have a wide variety of interests, I would say.
Yeah.
So what are some of those different experiences or job shadowing opportunities that students have?
Sure. So our first class of the year is our team building and intro to local leadership day. So they're able to meet with a panel of local leaders in local government roles and see what those careers are like. We have a nonprofit and community day where we visit organizations like Community Hospice and Salvation Army. We also have a public safety day for students who might be interested in law enforcement, healthcare day, agriculture day, media day. So we try to cover a pretty wide span of career opportunities in Stanislaus County.
Okay, because especially juniors and seniors, a lot of them are thinking about, okay, once I graduate from high school, what do I want to do? Kind of what area do I want to go into? So this would give them a really broad spectrum of different industries and businesses and job opportunities potentially here locally that they could start thinking about.
Absolutely, yeah. And really, we know that students they're aware of those traditional careers, right? Being a teacher, being a doctor. But what we love about Leadership Academy is it exposes them to those jobs that maybe they didn't know existed. And so it's really exciting to kind of open their eyes to those opportunities that maybe they hadn't considered before.
So as the director of the program, what do you think are some of the students' biggest kind of takeaways?
I think it's most exciting when they find their niche, like when they find a career that they had never considered before, that they then pursue. And when we run into students, alumni later who actually end up working in those careers, and then they share with us that they are in that career as a result of Leadership Academy. So I think that's the most exciting for us.
So that's really interesting because we're actually going to be talking with Micaela Meyer, and that is much of her story, right? She was in Leadership Academy. She had an experience and she thought like, oh, I think that that's what I want to do. That'll be interesting hearing from her. What can students do if they want to participate, if they want to sign up? What does that whole process look like?
Yeah, so typically in early February, we open for applications. So we post an announcement on our website. We send out an email to principals and counselors in Stanislaus County letting them know. So students complete an application, a short essay. They submit a few letters of recommendation as well as their transcripts. And most people are surprised to learn that Leadership Academy only requires a 2.0 GPA. And that is because, first of all, we recognize that academic achievement isn't the only indicator of someone's leadership potential, right? And secondly, because we want to give an opportunity to those students who have the most potential to benefit from the program. We know that this can be a particularly powerful experience for those students who haven't had opportunities like this in the past. So yes, they can keep an eye on our website. Early February is when we typically open for applications.
Okay, and then how many students are in a cohort, let's say?
Yeah, that's a great question. So typically we have around 30 students each year that we select for the program.
Tell me what a day at Leadership Academy would look like when all of the students come down here and meet at the Stanislaus County Office of Education. What does that look like?
Yeah, so each class is a little bit different depending on the sector that we are focusing on and the businesses that we're visiting. But typically, a typical class is like you shared, all the students meet here at our office, and then we board a bus and we take them out into the community to different organizations and businesses that are working in that sector.
And then of the students that are in a particular cohort, are they from specific high schools, or is it all the high schools in Stanislaus County, public, private? Like who are we reaching out to?
Yeah. So we, Leadership Academy is open to students from any school in Stanislaus County, both public and private. So this year we have 31 students in the class representing 16 different high schools across Stanislaus County. And we have a mix of public, private, charter schools. So our goal each year is to recruit as diverse of a class as possible.
Okay, awesome. Well, I appreciate you being here because we're really wanting to talk about Leadership Academy and what it has to offer for our juniors and seniors here in Stanislaus County. And you are a Leadership Academy graduate.
I am, class of 2018.
Okay, probably the best class ever.
I would like to think so, yeah. I'm
Okay.
sure of it.
All right, so some of our students currently in high school right now are probably wondering, like, I don't know, is this something that I could really benefit from? So as a graduate of Leadership Academy, and now even a graduate from college, which is fantastic, looking back, like, what did you appreciate most about being a part of it?
I think my biggest takeaway from the Leadership Academy program was just at the age of 17, I did not know for sure what I wanted to do with my life, what career path I was going to choose, what college I was going to pick. I was still in the process of deciding all of that. And so Leadership Academy really gave me exposure to different industries. We had the opportunity to network with local leaders in each industry and to network with each other, talk to other students. And all of that was just an amazing opportunity to figure out really what I was passionate about and what I wanted to pursue in my career. I think one of the most memorable experiences was Media Day for me. I'd always known that I was interested in video creation, content creation. I took interest in public relations and marketing at the time, and I wasn't sure if I was going to stick with that. But there was one particular day, or one particular activity on Media Day, where we had the opportunity to try to create TV commercial concepts in groups. And so we had to come up with a whole script, what we were advertising for, and just kind of explain that and pitch an idea to the industry leaders who were there. And so that I realized was something that really interested me. It was really exciting, that just the creative aspects, and I knew that I wanted to go into a field where I could be creative and unleash my creative potential. And I think that was one moment where I thought to myself, marketing is something that I could see myself doing.
So it truly did have an impact on your direction, even the major that you chose once you went to college and ultimately the degree.
Absolutely. Yep. So I, from there, decided that I was going to major in communication studies, and I ended up minoring in marketing. And all of that was aided by my Leadership Academy process.
Well, that's interesting. So, Micaela, what are you doing now?
So nowadays, I am working 2 part-time jobs, one at Center for Human Services and one at the County Office of Education. Another amazing opportunity that I had through Leadership Academy was meeting Vicki Bauman, who helped get that whole program started years ago. And so she has been an amazing friend and professional mentor to me since then. We still get coffee together and lunch together regularly. She helps connect me to Center for Human Services and to Stanislaus County Office of Education. And I was able to meet people from each of those organizations and just network, and it ultimately led to me getting positions at both of those organizations.
And not only do you have positions, but they're actually in the field that you studied in college, right? Because you have there's kind of a notion out there that a lot of college graduates are graduating from college, but they're getting jobs that aren't necessarily like in their field. And so fantastic that it worked out for you. You're actually working in a communications marketing position, getting to do actually what you wanted to pursue in the first place.
Absolutely, yes. The content creation, the writing, coming up with new ideas and finding new ways to reach people those are all things that I'm excited about, and I'm happy that I get to do that at a place like the County Office of Education. That's just, in my experience so far, an amazing place to work for.
Talk to me a little bit about maybe a couple of like your favorite memories from Leadership Academy.
I think one that really stood out to me was, so leading up to Law Enforcement Day, one of the requirements was to do a police ride-along and a fire ride-along. And so I visited the folks over at Station 5 for Modesto Fire, and that day, normally they would be pretty busy, but that day they weren't getting a ton of calls. And so I was hanging out at the station with them. And then when we had some extra time, they said, well, why don't we just go for a ride and go for a ride in the truck since we haven't had any calls yet. And we went out and they were saying, well, where should we go? Where do you want to go? And I was thinking, well, I don't know. I think it's cool enough just, being here. This is never been inside a fire truck before. So that was a cool experience. It
is great. There are tons of great partnerships, obviously, that we have with, our local community, and a number of students, even if they're not interested in going into law enforcement or fire, they will say like, oh my gosh, but the ride-alongs, like that was one of the things that just like stuck with me. And, I just learned so much about, what it is, kind of the day-to-day of being, part of that EMS team, and doing all of that. So that's always fantastic.
Absolutely. Another amazing opportunity that I had through the Leadership Academy program is that they partner with the Rotary Youth Exchange. And so through that, I had the opportunity to go on a fully sponsored 3.5-week trip to France. Absolutely amazing. It was my first time abroad. I'd always wanted to go to France too. And so I got to live with a host family who I still keep in touch with to this day.
That's awesome.
And so I stayed there for 3.5 weeks and was fully immersed in the culture. I got to know some of the language a little bit. And then the girl that I was staying with came back and visited me for 3.5 weeks and got to show her some of the best parts of Northern California. So
great. And I love if students ever have an opportunity to study abroad or just visit abroad, like please take advantage of that. And this is coming from someone, who, is a Spanish teacher and lived in Spain for a year, and it was one of the best years of my life. So if you guys have that opportunity, I strongly encourage you to do that. What surprised you most about our community, just, here in Stanislaus County? Obviously, that's one of the major things that we want to do with Leadership Academy, right, is just to get students exposed to all of the different career opportunities and industry sectors that are available, because we want students, yes, go out, get educated, grow, learn, but ultimately we want them to come back, right, and be able to thrive here. So what did you learn about our community?
I think one of my big takeaways was just the fact that there are so many opportunities in Stanislaus County. I think people tend to look to the Bay Area or the Los Angeles area, and sometimes Stanislaus County might be overlooked, and it's honestly underrated, I think. Just each day of Leadership Academy, getting to explore the nonprofit sector, the education sector, law enforcement, media, all these different opportunities in Stanislaus County and these different organizations that are in each of those fields. It was just amazing to see the array of opportunities in Stanislaus County.
Yeah, and I think that that's one of the things that our student participants always take away with them is like, wow, and I hear this all the time, right? Like, I never knew.
Exactly.
Right? I'm visiting hospitals, huge manufacturing companies and food processing and just all the other examples that you just gave, right? It's so diverse. There is a variety of career options and choices here, and to be able to have that and then make decisions based on that, like you did. Basically, it's like, wow, this is something I'm really interested in, and oh my gosh, there's a whole industry here, and I think that maybe that's what I want to do when I go off to college. So, and truly, it's all about that. And you're a perfect example, because not only did you do that, now you're back, and we here at the county office get the benefit. Thank you, Micaela.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
To learn more about the program, visit the Leadership Academy website. High school students are encouraged to apply each year in February for the following school year. The application information and instructions are posted on the website and updated yearly. If you have any questions, feel free to contact Erikka Perry by phone or email.